Good morning and welcome to the Sort of Legacy Park for the Baseball Lifestyle 101 World Series here, presented by Steel Sports here. Today we have the Harrison Bombers against the Northeast Clippers here. Looks like a 9 o'clock start, a couple minutes behind. But the Harrison Bombers are going to be on the field first, and hitting first for the Northeast Clippers is going to be the left fielder Matthew DeShiel. I'm Frank Labella, joined by my co-host Nick Labella in the booth today for a pretty nice day outside today, much better than yesterday's start in terms of weather. And the first pitch to DeShiel comes in as a high strike from Cooper Flornes on the mound. Let's run through the starting lineup for the Northeast Clippers real quick. Matthew DeShiel, the left fielder, starting things off as he pops that one back to the backstop. Then we have the center fielder, Jake Nalepka. Then the right fielder, Tommy Nalepka. Then the shortstop, Max Fabian at the cleanup spot. Then the catcher, John Giordano. Then the second baseman, Brad Lobo. Then third baseman, Jeremy Guzman. Then the first baseman, Kevin Blake. Then pitching, L.A. Pesh. And then the E.H., Eli Ovales. That one skied out into center by DeShiel for the first hit of this game, brought in by Valenti out there. And they've gotten to Flornes quickly. Let's see if the coach of the Bombers decides to hold on to DeShiel at first. And it looks like they will move Giaffrey over there. Now up for the Clippers, Jake Nalepka. One of two Nalepkas back-to-back. This one plays center. That one's skied out into left. Going to be a long run for Guglielmo. And he drops it, lands right next to him, but he's going to be able to recover that on the bounce. But unfortunately, DeShiel moves over to second, and Nalepka finds his way onto first. And Flornes is tagged quickly here for two runners.
That was a tough play. He did make it there.
He reached it, yeah. He had the stretch to get there, but it just went past his outstretched arms. I don't think it made contact with the glove. But here comes Tommy Nalepka, the right fielder. They chop that down the third baseline. That's recoverable by Mock. Now he fires it across the diamond. Double play. Got Nalepka by a step. We're going to have to watch that one back. That was a dart across the diamond after stepping on third. What a play by Mock. And then a stretch by Jaffrey over there. So Flornes needed that one. Mock turns two and leaves a man on second. Jake Nalepka is still standing there. That'll bring around the shortstop, Max Fabian. Things are moving awfully quick here. The Clippers coming up firing. Now Nalepka's off on the pitch, but Fabian fouls that one back. It's the first game we've broadcasted on this field. Did primarily, and really all 13 and above yesterday, 13U that is, on the opposite fields across the Sort of Legacy Park. But with the various sizes of fields and the multitude of fields that they have around this park and this facility, these broadcasts can go just about anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really been down by these fields. The first thing I noticed when we sat down in the booth was the view you get in the field.
Yep.
Like when we were doing the other fields, it was all straight trees.
Actually. Yeah, there's no trees out in, not such a skyline out in center field as we've been seeing on the other fields. But Fabian looking at an 0-2 count right now. Flornes keeps finding the zone. Let's see what Flornes can deliver here with the runner still on second. And he gets Fabian swinging at a low ball, and that will retire the side here. No runner scores. Mock turns that double play to Strand Nalepka at second. We'll see what happens in the bottom of the first when the Bombers get a chance themselves. And we are back here, bottom of the first, between the Harrison Bombers and the Northeast Clippers. Swinging through that first pitch was Johnny Valente, the center fielder. On the mound for the Northeast Clippers, L.A. Pesh. Finds the strike zone for another one. Strike two quickly here on Valente. In the booth right now, we have a special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Jake Miller.
Jake Miller of the Harrison Bombers, that is. Starting off as the EH today. What positions do you play, Jake?
Third and a little second.
Third and a little bit of second. Interesting.
There you go.
Valente just went down on 3 strikes, so quick work here for Pesci. That one was looking. We've been seeing a lot of strikeouts looking this week so far. This is only the second day we've been doing this broadcast. Is your coach ever on you guys about watching strike 3 happen?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Are we going to see a lot more of that today? Hopefully not, right?
I would just say I would hope not.
Here's the first baseman, Mateo Joffrey. I love the colorful aspects of this bat. It's going just about everywhere. He flies that one behind us. So being that we're actually catching you before you actually go up there and face L.A. Pesh, you were just talking about pitches. Is there any pitch you would rather see? Are you looking for velocity or off speed?
I'm just looking for a fastball down the middle, honestly.
Just straight fastball you're looking
Yeah. Preferably in the middle of the zone.
But if I get up high, that's also good.
for? Do you like them high as opposed to low?
I always ground out when it's slow. I feel like
Are you a righty or a lefty?
righty.
So do you often hit it towards shortstop, third base?
Depends on the pitcher.
Typical? Ooh. That's fouled off to the left side. I believe it's a 1-2 count now, 0-2? 2-2, oh. Don't have a scoreboard on the 12U field out here. Shoots that one over to the left side. That's Jeremy Guzman. Makes the grab, no problem, and they'll throw it around the horn. Good reaction time by Jeremy over there. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Christian Tadeo. So are you often the EH in this lineup, or are you usually on the field?
Usually, because I'm not the best at defensively, but I'm a pretty good hitter.
It's hard, though.
Would you make up for it with the bat?
Yeah.
Down's a little outside to Tadeo. L.A. Pesh has worked through 2 quick batters here, looking to a 1-2-3 'em.
Come on, shit.
Here's the delivery from Pesh. That comes in high on Tadeo. So as a second baseman, third baseman, what's your favorite MLB team?
What?
What's your favorite MLB team, first of all?
Oh, Yankees.
What's your favorite player? Like
Disappointing.
Jazz for those positions?
Nah. It's kind of hard. I kind of like Stanton.
Stanton? Really?
Stanton or Judge.
I'm surprised. I feel like the younger generation really doesn't. I wouldn't have pictured the big stand for you guys.
That's strike 2 called on Tadeo on the outside corner.
I actually met Jazz the other day.
You met Jazz the
Where'd you
other
meet
day.
Jazz Chisholm?
I went to his baseball camp.
Oh, wow.
Really? Where's that?
I think it was like a Rye Country Day.
Nice. He's a cool guy?
What?
He's a cool guy?
It was kind of chill.
He's pretty chill.
You see, yesterday he said he's doing the home run derby.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
You think he'll win? Or?
No.
Do you watch the home run derby?
Yeah.
That one's flown back.
Do you have a pick for who's going to win?
I think Brian Buxton.
Ooh. Okay. I don't know who I pick yet. I like James Wood, but I don't know if he's gonna take the whole thing.
And as we were just talking about it, there's another strike 3 call. That one on Tadeo. Eli Pesh finds the inside corner. That'll do it here in the bottom of the first. Still 0-0 going into the top of the second. Thank you, Jake Miller, for joining us. We'll see if he stays around for the next inning. We'll be back.
I gotta go to second.
Top of the second action here at Lasorda Legacy Park. The Bombers against the Clippers, still 0-0 here at the top of the inning. Leading off for the Clippers, is John Giordano, the catcher. He chops that one towards his own dugout. On the mound here still for the Bombers is Cooper Flornes after a scoreless first inning, courtesy of a swell double play brought by Brady Mock at third base. And combined with Geoffrey at first. A hit by pitch early here. Flornes hits Giordano in the back. Now up for the Clippers. That brings up second baseman Brad Lobo. We lost Brad Miller to a defensive adjustment. He's at second base now. I believe that's the only adjustment that has been made. Now a pinch runner, Fabian, is at first, and they try to pick him off and throw it beyond Geoffrey's reach. So here's Flornes with an error on the pickoff attempt. Now they have the tall and speedy Max Fabian at second base. He was the last out, and they swapped him out for Giordano, the catcher, who can take a breather now after that hit by pitch. Miller trying to hold Fabian close at second. That one came inside, forced Lobo to back off. As I was saying, Brad Miller comes in, who was the EH, comes in at second base, and I believe DiCostanzo is taking a rest on the bench right now. They try to reach Fabian at second, test him with Miller over there. Large gap along the right side right now between Geoffrey and Miller, with Miller attempting to pick off. Swinging through that one was Lobo, but it was a foul ball despite the fact that Fabian was already at third. He's going to have to go back. This type of benefit you have when you get your catcher or pitcher on base. You can bring in a speedster that was the last out. And Fabian's looking to test Flornes around the bases. Another delivery to Lobo. Shoots that one at Mock. Between Mock and Tadeo, he can't reach it. And that'll be recovered out and left by Guglielmo. Great shot there by Lobo. Came in too hot for Mock to reach, going to his left side. And now runners on the corners with Jeremy Guzman, the third baseman, rolling up. Typically around this age, and really around this park we've been seeing this week, the runners on the corners typically moves that we're going to see some movement around first base. I wouldn't be surprised if Lobo takes off. First pitch he does on a high ball towards Guzman. And quickly, runners are on second and third here. Now the infield can play straight up again. No pickoffs being attempted here. Runners on second and third, two in scoring position for Guzman here. That one touches the inside corner despite Guzman backing away from it. It's going to be a 1-1 count here. Waiting on deck, the first baseman, Kevin Blake. That one he swings through. It's going to be a 1-2 count here. Flornes being battle tested here in the second inning. Two runners in scoring position with just one out. Actually, no outs, I believe, right? Guzman shoots that out towards short. Handled by Tadeo. He's going to have to go to first here. It was the only option. Now they try to back pick at second. Lobo makes his way back. But it's going to be an RBI signal as Fabian comes around to score. The pinch runner in there for Giordano makes his way around the bases. Look at the way he had to wait that one out, make sure nothing was coming home. Fabian with a good patience there. Best play Tadeo really could have made there, or else Fabian was going to be hanging around all day. There's a possible chance that there was going to be no outs if he waited on Fabian. So a decent play getting that across the diamond to Geoffrey. Now there's just a man on second. That's Lobo with two down here, or one down. Oh, what a diving grab by Mock. He's got to throw it across this diamond once again. Cross-body throw by Mock. Another beautiful play. Now they got a truck on Lober on third. Mock putting on a highlight reel right now. Geoffrey with another good stretch. That's only the second out, though, with a runner on third. That brings around the pitcher, L.A. Pesh, coming off a nice 1-2-3 inning at the top of this inning, or the bottom of the last inning. First pitch to Pesh comes in a little high. Lobo's still on the third, but two outs now. That one comes in just low and out to Pesh. Lobo's still standing around third. No one's going to hold him on. Mock can play straight up. Oh, that one hits Pesh in the back. Flornes just needs one more. He's got to control it. But now runners on the corners again. They're likely going to move Pesh. We'll see if Pesh actually stays in here, being that he's the pitcher, probably staying on the mound in the next inning. Yeah, they're going to leave him to base run.
You think he tries to take a base?
I would assume that he does. Here's the 10-hitter, Eli Ovales, the extra hitter. They're going to try and hold him on over there. It looks like Joffrey's going to hold him close. Here's the mound visit, though, from Coach Joffrey. It was an early start this inning with the Clippers jumping on Flornes. And despite the great defensive plays around him, especially from Mock, these runners are still looming. Just the ones come in to score so far. And that was Fabian in place of Giordano after Giordano led off this inning with a hit by pitch. Here's the first pitch from Flornes. No, he's going to try and test Pesh at first. Joffrey's still holding him on there. Yeah, they're going to keep holding Pesh at first, trying to keep him close enough that he wouldn't want to test the steal, and he's going to do it anyway. Coming up, jumping there was Kaspari, but they're going to go back to third. Try and backpick Lobo there, and it gets behind Mock, and Lobo's going to make his way home easily. And now they have Pesh in a rundown, but he's going to slide back in as well at second. So Pesh with the steal, they're going to try and test. They tried to test Lobo at third. Kaspari jumped up firing for a backpick. It was a nice almost trick play there. And look at this, Mock tries to get Pesh back at second. But just another run comes in for the Clippers here. That's 2 in total this inning. Now Flornes still on the mound, has to regather himself. This is still the 10-hitter Ovales. This has felt like a long top of the second here for Flornes to navigate through. Now the chance coming from the Clippers lineup. They're getting hype after 2 runs in this inning. Top of the lineup coming up next, that would be the Shield. Now Ovales sends this out into left. That's going to be a long run for Guglielmo. He can't reach it. Pesh rounds third. He comes home. Now rounding first there was Ovales, but they're going to limit that to a single. It was a quick grab by Guglielmo out there near the warning track to get that in for a relay. But nonetheless, an RBI signal for the 10-hitter Eli Ovales.
That was a long single.
Yeah, we'll watch this one back. That one looked like it got to the track from our angle. We'll see how far back it got. Guglielmo wasn't playing deep enough for that one. Yeah, it did hit the bottom of the wall, but he played that nicely off it, let it bounce right into his glove, and the relay to get back to second halted Ovales at first. But a 3-run game now. Pesh came in to score there. Here's Matthew DeShield, the left fielder, for his second opportunity of the game. Now taking off on the pitch was Ovales. Going to be a late throw from Kaspari.
Oh, they're saying hit by pitch.
Yeah, I believe they're saying that this one hit DeShield, so they're going to award him first base anyway, and there will be no stolen base for Ovales. Now coming up is the center fielder, Jake Nalepka.
That's a 3rd hit by pitch of this inning.
Doesn't feel like Flornes has hit that many guys, but yeah.
He hit Giordano to start the inning. He hit LA, and now he just hit Matthew.
Kaspari lost that one off the backstop, but recovered it quickly enough for no one to move. Flornes is asking for a wipe of some sort. Hands are a little sticky or wet. He'll live for now. Still facing Jake Nalepka, the center fielder here. Calling for a pickoff at first base is Joffrey, but Flornes isn't going to look his way. That one's a little out. 2-0 count here on Nalepka. Everyone's trying to hold the runners on at second and first. Now that one's skied out into left. Going to be a possible play for Guglielmo. That one just lands in foul territory. That did sound like car action, but I didn't hear an alarm.
I think we caught it on camera. Hit the car.
Did I? I didn't see
I think we did. Yeah.
I believe that was the first strike here. We don't have a scoreboard on this field, so hard to tell every now and then. They try to pick off at second. Miller applied the tag there, but no dice. Ovales gets back in there. Let's watch this one back. Let's see where it landed.
I think we caught
Apo
it.
taco, as they say.
Up and left of the foul pole. There it is.
Ooh,
Boom.
I thought that went through the sunroof first, but hit the front of the car. That smells like damage.
Just a little.
The car might have been, someone might be in the car, because again, I didn't hear an alarm. We'll see how Flornes can handle this one. A little bit out there. Nalepka takes another ball. 3-1 count here on Nalepka. Miller has backed off, allowing Ovales to take however much of a lead he wants. So has Joffrey. And that one also misses outside, so Nalepka takes a base. In addition to multiple hit by pitches, the walks are starting to stack up. That'll bring up a second Nalepka, Tommy Nalepka, the right fielder. They stack the right side of the outfield. Funnily enough, this lineup goes across the outfield. First batter to Shield in left, then Nalepka, Jake in center, and then the other Nalepka, Tommy, right now in right. They keep the outfield at the top three of the lineup. Throw all your speed in the outfield sometimes. And then Max Fabian, the shortstop, awaiting on deck, who came around to score in place of Giordano as a pinch runner. Leads are getting very long around the bases, no one being held on. That one's blooped out between first and second. No one's covering first, though, because Joffrey and Miller closed in on that ball. Now they're coming home with it. No, the second run scores. Now they go to third with it. A lot's going on here. Now a runner taking off for second. That's Nalepka. He slides in there. And now the other Nalepka coming home. 3 runs coming to score. The field is being tested here of the Bombers. Everyone's moving. Tommy Nalepka ends up on second base. Jake Nalepka comes in to score. Matthew DeShiel comes in to score, as well as Eli Ovales. 3 runs scoring on a bloop between the first baseman and second baseman. Poor play defensively from the Bombers there
on a ball
to not eat the ball.
On a ball that never left the infield.
That one is tough because the only one to have a chance at having that in the air was Joffrey, the first baseman, but there could have been a potential play if Miller caught that off the bounce to get it to Joffrey. That one's grounded out to the pitcher, Flornes, and he'll make the play, getting it over there to Joffrey. But how many did we add to the tally there?
Hey, I got it at 6-0.
6 on the board off Flornes, and the Northeast Clippers are going to have to defend that lead now, heading into the bottom of the second, where the Bombers looking to take some of that away. We'll see when we come back. Welcome back to some Lasorda Legacy Park action here in the Baseball Lifestyle 101 World Series. Leading off for the Bombers here, trying to respond to a 6-0 deficit right now, is Nicholas Kaspari, the catcher. Ellie Pesh went through the Bombers in the first inning in a 1-2-3 format. Very smooth running through that first inning. So we'll see how the Bombers can upgrade their offense a little bit here with the cleanup hitter leading it off. That one comes in high. It's a 1-1 count right now. We saw some rough defensive play, specifically on one play for the Bombers in that last inning after everything had been spectacular up to that point. 3 runners came around to score on a bloop between first and second on the infield. couple of throwing errors, a couple of just throws across the diamond that were too long in terms of time, allowing runners to keep moving around the diamond. Kaspari shoots his shot out into right center. That's going to be hard to reach, and it gets over the wall. That came off hotter than we thought it was going to. Kaspari adds something to the offense for the Bombers here. And it's a 6-1 game here off the bat of Kaspari. Talk about power from the catcher and adding some life to this Bombers offense. That ball was just watched soaring by Nalepka out in right center.
You said you wanted to see a home run this weekend.
That off the bat didn't feel like one. That was just a laser. Didn't have much of an arc.
Just kept going.
Yeah, Nalepka just watched that one sail over his head. Didn't even bother getting to the warning track there because it came off too hot. That'll bring up Bo Zarafa, the right fielder, looking to follow it up with something. A leadoff bomb, and still nobody out here. After they were 1-2-3 in the first. Zarafa swings through that one. It's an 0-2 count right now, quickly on the right fielder. Elliot Pesh throwing some heat right now for the Northeast Clippers, trying to go as far as he can in this game. That was a little out on Zarafa. Here's another delivery from Pesh. Comes in just high. Had some real curve from Pesh there, but it didn't come low enough. Zarafa sporting a yellow, orange, and red bat. Looks like a lot of fire. That one comes a little inside. It's a full count now. See how Pesh can respond after giving up the solo shot, the full count delivery. That one's out. But Zarafa finds his way to first base. The first base runner allowed by L.A. Pesh, despite the home run. Yeah, I guess that would be considered a base runner as well. Zarafa on first base now, being held on by Blake over there.
Technically a base runner, but
yeah,
the first batter that is
first guy that needed to hold on, standing on base, yeah. Here's the pitcher, Cooper Flornes. A bullet shot out into center field. That's going to be a hard one to reach for Nalepka. He picks it off the wall. Now they're firing three. Guzman has to apply the tag, gets behind him. Oh, interference probably going to be called. The pitcher, Pesh, ran directly into the base runner, Zarafa. That was probably going to be second and third, but Zarafa was already rounding there to come home. Yeah, they're going to rant Zarafa the plate. That'll be the second run here for the Bombers. The question here is whether they award the hitter, Flornes, third base, because he was turning second when the obstruction happened at third base. Clean play out there by Jake Nalepka out in center. Gets it to Guzman. It looked like it was going to be an easy out there, but it got under Guzman's glove. And then look at this. He runs right into the pitcher, L.A. Pesh. He was flabbergasted calling for the interference and stopped running home, but the ump, luckily for him, granted it to him. But unfortunately for the Clippers, it was clear as day. That was a long round, though.
I was just thinking that, too, yeah. I mean, it is technically still his way.
Zarafa took an interesting route, but yeah, it was still his technical base path. That one came off a little weird.
And they did leave the other runner on third.
Yeah, that's the most interesting part of that play to me. It felt like Flornes took off for third after that all had happened.
I thought so as well, but
it is what it is. A runner on third now, and still nobody out. The first three batters here convert for the Bombers. A solo shot for Kaspari. Zarafa finds his way to first base. And then Flornes with an RBI triple. First
are you giving it a try?
Pitch takes back by Miller there, the EH, who was in our booth before.
I put it as a single and then just two advances.
I would say at least a double, though, because
really?
I got to the track, and he was already at second.
Okay. I thought he advanced on the throw that got past Jeremy.
I think he was already headed there, though.
Oh, okay.
They just tried to get the guy at third. Feels like a double material. 2 strikes early here on Miller. And now he takes a hack at a pitch above his shoulders for the third strikeout in total for L.A. Pesh, the first of the inning. And that's just the first out Pesh has converted here this inning. So Flornes is still lingering on third base right now. Here's the third baseman who's made a couple spectacular plays in this game thus far, Brady Mock.
I don't want to discourage people from coming into our booth, but it feels like everyone who comes into our booth does not have great
some
luck
poor
at the plate
performances after they've come around, yeah.
Going back to
Great.
yesterday's game.
Jake Miller was telling us what he wanted to see. He said he wanted the straight gas from Elliot Pesh. He wasn't looking for off speed. He wanted fastballs, specifically down the middle. Wow, that was a good pun though. I said down the Miller.
Down the middle to Miller.
So Mock down in the count right now. Shoots down at that one, chops it down towards Pesh. He had to run towards Guzman to get it, and he still makes the play across his body in front of the third baseman Guzman. He said, "I'll take it myself." So Mock with an RBI single nonetheless, coming around to score there.
Out.
RBI ground out, yes, indeed. He finds Flornez to get home there. Yeah, Pesh bobbled that one. He was almost lunging right there with his right leg outstretched. That'll bring up the EH, Caden Osher-Leshner.
A couple times.
Just about every game they give me a rough one to get out of my mouth.
We need more like Jake Miller.
Facts. That one's grounded into L.A. Pesh's arms again. Throws a high one at the first baseman, Blake. He'll hop and make the play, landing on the bag. Puts away Osher-Leshner. I think I got that one again. But 2 runs tagged there on three runs actually tagged on L.A. Pesh there in the bottom of the second. So it's a 6-3 ball game here, heading into the top of the third. A nice response there by the Harrison Bombers, and we'll see how the Northeast Clippers can respond themselves at the top. Welcome to the top of the third here at Lasorda Legacy Park. The Northeast Clippers are up 6-3 on the Harrison Bombers. The Bombers just took 3 at the bottom of the second. Now the Clippers want to add to that lead. Still on the mound for the Bombers is Cooper Flornez. And fouled back is the first pitch by Nicholas Kaspari, the catcher, leading off for a second straight inning as the Clippers batted around on the way to putting up 6 on the board in the top of the second. Second pitch to Kaspari, shot into the dugout of the Bombers. Kaspari as far back in the box as you can get. In fact, touching out of the box, his back foot on the white spray, as you would call it on the turf, the white outline.
Giordano.
Oh, wrong. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong catcher. Gian Giordano, yes.
You caught me off guard for a second.
The second straight inning leading off, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just picked the wrong catcher there. That one bounces in front of Giordano.
I also haven't mentioned it yet, but if you've listened to us before, you know we talk a lot about jerseys and colors, designs, and stuff. These give me UCLA vibes. That's my pick for these jerseys.
Blue and yellow, I probably think UCLA first, yeah. I mean, I was thinking more like the Northeast Clippers have a lot going on with the pinstripes and the blue and yellow. Definitely Savannah Bananas vibes, especially the blue alternate that they have. They're not wearing the blue now, But these white pinstripes also give that vibe. As Flornes racks up another strikeout, getting Giordano to swing through that one. Felt like he had all the control in that at-bat. Giordano didn't have any solid contact. But coming up is the second baseman, Brad Lobo.
Savannah Banana is an interesting comparison. I mean, well, now I want to see the.
I actually don't know if the
alternates.
Savannah Bananas have a blue alternate, but we saw it yesterday. The blue with the white pinstripes, or blue with the yellow pinstripe, actually, I believe. Lobo shoots this one out into left. Guglielmo have to range that one out, and he gets it.
You're right. I do remember the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, I just saw it behind us a little while ago. I think the blue Clippers, actually, they are playing behind us right now. Norris Clippers in blue and yellow on the other field. And here we have the Norris Clippers in white with blue pinstripes. I love the action going on in the numbers
You're right.
as well,
Yeah,
with
I
the
do
yellow
see
and
it now.
blue kind of curving together. Here's Jeremy Guzman, the third baseman, getting his second opportunity. So Flornes works through the first two batters with not too much problem. That was a hard hit ball there by Lobo out to left. Yeah, Lobo, who also had a single in his last at bat, making some hard contact in his first two appearances. Guzman skies this one out into right center. The outfielder's closing in on that. Ultimately, Valente will be the one to close it out. And a 1-2-3 inning here for Flornes. He might be able to go a little bit further in this game. The Bombers having to come back. That's what they needed. Still down 3 heading to the bottom of the third. We're here for the bottom of the third. The Harrison Bombers down 3 against LA Pesh and the Norris Clippers. Pesh still strong on the mound right now, despite the 3 given up in the last inning. The Bombers crawling their way back after being down 6-0. Guglielmo, the left fielder, takes the first pitch for a strike. Looks like defensively the Norris Clippers are staying put. Everything's still the same. The EH still Eli Ovala is chilling in the dugout, but everything looks the same on the field. There were some minor changes for the Bombers in the last inning. I didn't get to nor need to point out since nothing was really hit to them. Guglielmo takes a second strike here. It's a 1-2 count through 3 pitches.
And this is a deep lineup, too. I know you ran through the lineup in the first, but, like, if LA goes 1-2-3 here, he can still not even get back to the top of the order through 3 innings, despite already giving up 3 runs.
Yeah, it's been pretty efficient for LA Pesh despite the 3 runs given up. He gets Guglielmo swinging through strike 3 there, so he puts him away in 4 pitches.
It's his 4th strikeout already.
And now he rolls on a little bit further. Here comes the starting second baseman who became the second baseman after a breather in the second again. Mikey DiCostanzo swinging through a high strike on strike 1. A little behind it. LA Pesh is throwing the gas that Jake Miller was looking for in our interview. But here's pitch 2 to DiCostanzo. Again swinging through that one. He just seems to be a second behind
yeah,
it.
I'd say that one again felt late.
Wish I had a radar gun on LA Pesh right now to see what we're looking at. Here comes pitch number 3. That was at the eyes of DiCostanzo.
I'd love to hear like how the Harrison dugout is talking about LA.
See if they're trying to
Yeah.
speed up their swings a little bit. And DiCostanzo watches strike 3 hit the outside corner. Pesh with his 5th strikeout already. And this could be another 1-2-3 opportunity for the efficient as ever LA Pesh. He's looking at the last guy in this long Bombers lineup right now, the 12 hitter, Alexander Grayar, the extra
pitch
hitter.
Too.
Beautiful pitching right now from L.A. Pesh.
Paint at the end.
Here's the first pitch from him.
Another one.
Paints strike one on the outside corner once again. Knows where to find it with umpire right now.
Whatever just happened to him in the dugout prior to this inning?
An exquisite pep talk from coach in the Clippers lineup. Strike two called. L.A. Pesh is just having all these batters watch his strikes fall into place.
He did the Space Jam. He just drank LA's special juice.
Let's see if Guerrero takes a hack at this one, and he does. Pesh with strikeout number 6, retiring the side here. 1, 2, 3. Did he just strike out the side? Yes, he did. Swinging, looking, swinging. Pesh looks through this lineup with no problem. Still 6-3 Clippers heading into the top of the 4th, where they look to add some insurance to it, thanks to the courtesy of L.A. Pesh. And we are back here, top of the 4th. Northeast Clippers still up 6-3 on the Harrison Bombers. Leading off is Blake for the Clippers. He shoots a shot out into left field where Guglielmo will have to catch that on a bounce. The first hit of the inning here for the Clippers, and Flores is tagged early. Couple of defensive adjustments for the Bombers. Starting third baseman who took a breather last inning, that's Brady Mock. Out in right field now for Zarafa. Zarafa moves over to third base as he was in the last inning where Mock started in this game. Here's L.A. Pesh, the pitcher who's rolling smoothly through the Bombers lineup right now. We just watched him strike out the side on 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. They were only tagging him for 3 runs in the 2nd, but other than that, he's been ultra smooth. Here's Blake being held on by Joffrey at first base right now. That one comes in at the eyes of Pesh for a ball.
I should have counted his pitches that inning. I wonder how many he threw. It really didn't take him that long to strike out the side.
It's probably under, I would say like 13-ish, actually. It really wasn't that extensive.
I would say around the same thing, yeah. Because I don't think
Maybe a couple foul balls.
I don't think it was an immaculate inning. I'd feel bad if we missed an immaculate inning.
Yeah, a near pickoff there on Blake at first.
But it couldn't have been more than like.
No, there's definitely some balls in there. I would guess.
I was gonna say it couldn't have been more than 15.
That'd be a shame if we just did not pay attention to the immaculate inning. Pesh pushes that over the right side of the foul line. A diving attempt there by Joffrey. A near diving play there. We'll watch that one back. See how close he got to the action. Joffrey with the layout. That is very close.
I was just saying, yeah, he was there.
That might have actually nicked his glove. Pesh way back in the box here. Pops that behind him on the backstop. A lot of these guys as far back in the box as can be. That's what coaches teach you. Let's look at Pesh's feet placement here along the back chalk of the box. Look at that, as far back as you can go. Blake still leading off first. Pesh just shoots this one out into center field. That's Valenti still out there. He's going to let it drop in front of him. Blake scatters his way over there to second safely. Valenti couldn't reach out in time. He was playing a little bit too deep. And that one landed shallow just beyond the infield. So now first and second here, Flores being gotten to with nobody out. And here's the EH, Eli Ovales, at the bottom of this lineup before we roll it around to the top for Matthew DeShiel. Quick mound visit. Coach wants to talk things over. He actually pulls Flores out and that'll be the game on the mound for Cooper Flornes. We'll see who they turn to here. Looks like it's going to be the first baseman, Mateo Joffrey, to take the ball and take things over here. We can do a quick recap for Cooper Flornes when you're ready.
Let's do it. He's gone 3 innings and counting since he technically pitched a little bit here in the 4th. Gave up 6 runs. I think it was 6 hits as well. Yeah, 6 hits and 6 runs. Had the 3 hit by pitches. But he did have 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, 2 strikeouts. Decent number to add to the order.
1 walk. But 1 walk, but he technically, the 3 hit by pitches, technically round them together 4.
Definitely not the outing Cooper Flornes was looking for, but give him credit, he made his way into the 4th inning. But now leaving stranded 2 runners on the bases.
So he is still on the
for
line
Mateo
for 2
Joffrey
more.
to take on, yeah. We'll see what other defensive adjustments Coach Joffrey works around here. With Mateo Joffrey taking the bump now. He's going to have to face Eli Ovales, the 10-hitter, before rolling around to the top of the order. So double play, definitely in play here, something they would be looking for. Hopefully ground ball action here for Joffrey on the mound. First 2 hitters find their way on base for the Clippers. What a game L.A. Pesh is having, especially on the mound, but also finding his way on base again with a single right there.
A little double action.
Yeah, really playing on both sides of the ball for the Clippers right now in the 9-hole of 10 guys. So let's see where Cooper Flornes goes defensively. Looks like Jake Miller, the starting EH who had an inning at second base, is at second base right now. Zarafa, the starting right fielder, still remaining at third. Tadeo at short. Kaspari remaining behind the plate. Mock in right field. Valenti in center. Guglielmo in left. Yeah, it looks like they just did a clean swap, and they're going to put Cooper Flornes at first. Something we've seen pretty common this week. Around this age group, just make the clean swap if you can. So Flornes will take Joffrey's spot at first. And here is Mateo Joffrey on the mound. First pitch was a foul off the bat of Eli Ovales. So no runs tagged in this inning on Flornes thus far. Seems like it's been a long top of the 4th, but the runners stranded have been the only runners this inning. Still nobody out, though. That one comes behind the head of Ovales. A good grab there by Kaspari to keep the runners on base where they are. Checking on the runners is Joffrey. The delivery from him just missed low and outside. Runners being held on right now by Flornes at first and Miller at second. They're going to have to bounce back into their normal position. Shot out along the third baseline. That bloop's just foul. Decent exit velocity off the bat of Ovales.
Into the bleachers for the fans.
Yeah, that was out of the reach of third baseman Zarafa. But that would have been an RBI potentially with how far Guglielmo had to run for that. That actually might be, I believe there was a swap out in left field as well. I think Alexander Greer is now out there, the extra hitter originally. This one skied into foul territory as well, out of the reach of Greer. Another one towards the cars out there.
That was deep, too, yeah. And that was a pitch that wasn't even, like, in the zone, it looked
Yeah,
like.
Ovales is reaching high for these and still shooting them deep. A lot of action out there for Greer to be on his feet for. Here's another delivery. He gets Ovales swinging through that one. That one looked a little bit out of the zone, but he was antsy after a couple of hard hit balls out into left. Unfortunately, we're just foul for him. Let's watch this strikeout back. Quick replay here. Was it going to be a strike? No, it looks a little bit outside. Beautiful curve there from the new improved pitcher, Joffrey.
It's a tough way to end the at-bat there, especially after all the hard hits he had there.
Yeah, a couple hard hit balls from Ovales. No dice. The slider ultimately catches him on the outside. Here's the top of the lineup again. Left fielder Matthew DeShiel getting his 3rd licks already here in the top of the 4th. This Clipper lineup keeps rolling. One out here, first and second. That one's a little bit outside. It's been a long top of the 4th, but there's still a chance for Joffrey to escape without allowing any of Flornes' runners to come around. Skied out into left center. It's going to be a tough ball for anyone to reach, but the shortstop ultimately, Tadeo, gets back to reach that one. And they try to double up Blake at second, but he dives his way back in there safely. We'll watch this replay back. Off the bat, it was a bloop. Looked like it was going to be between the infield and outfield, but good backtrack there by Tadeo. And that's the second out of the inning. So Joffrey has a chance to come in here and 1-2-3 the Clippers and not allow the runner in scoring position on second, Blake, or the runner on first, Pesh, to move any further. Joffrey with the first pitch here to Jake Nalepka, the center fielder, in his third appearance here. He's reached base on both appearances thus far and scored on one of them. See the second pitch here from Joffrey. That shot at Tadeo. What a grab! Gets his arm up there. Quick reaction time. 2 in a row in the hands of Tadeo. And escaping unscathed is the new and improved pitcher, Mateo Joffrey, the former first baseman. Let's watch this one back. See how quickly Tadeo's arm got up there. That other one looked like it was going to shoot over his head. What a grab putting the glove up. And the Bombers, still no runs allowed, 2 straight innings here. And 6-3, the Bombers are going to look to close on that deficit heading into the bottom of the fourth here, in which L.A. Pesh will presumably still be on the mound when we return. It's the bottom of the fourth here at Lasorda Legacy Park. The Bombers are still down 6-3. That's been the score for 2 innings now. Johnny Valenti, the top of this Bombers lineup, has a chance here to attack L.A. Pesh. He drops down a bunt along the third baseline. Almost as good as it can get. Pesh reaches it early, but not early enough. Valenti with the leadoff speed gets the infield single there on a beautiful bunt laid down. And there's going to be a quick base runner here against L.A. Pesh, who's been working smoothly through this Bombers lineup. Pesh reacted as quickly as you could. That's a new third baseman over there. That's the former EH, Eli Ovales, taking the place of Jeremy Guzman, who's getting a defensive breather right now. So he didn't have enough time to grab that. That was all Pesh right there. And Valente being held on by Blake at first. Now he takes off on the first pitch. Coming up quickly there is Giordano. No one's covering, though. Lobo was probably supposed to be there against the lefty hitter. Or maybe that was supposed to be Fabian. Either way, a defensive mishap there. No one was ready for it.
At least they were able to still keep it on the infield.
Yeah, Lobo got it on one bounce, but an easy steal there for Johnny Valenti, the center fielder. The speed paying off immediately. And here's the first baseman who became the pitcher, Mateo Joffrey, who took ball 1 there on the steal, I believe.
That whole sequence, start to finish, was exactly what I do in MLB The Show when I have a player with like 90-plus speed. I try and draw a bunt like that, and then an immediate steal.
Yeah, that's common at this level. Not exactly the bunt, because the bunt you don't see too often here. That was beautiful by Johnny Valenti.
Because the bunt has to be really good. Like, that was a beautiful bunt.
I just got a smile and a nod there from Mateo Joffrey. I wish we caught that one on camera. He was looking at us while we were talking. Just give him a quick point.
I hope he's ready to cook.
I wish him the best in this at-bat. But as we were saying, yeah, it's common. Usually not so much the bunt, because it's a tactical thing, obviously. At the 12U level, even all the ages around this, you don't see bunts drop down too much, especially as well executed as Valenti just did. But anytime you got your speedster on like that, especially lead off the inning, there's definitely going to be movement on the bases. Now Valenti, we'll see if he takes third. A bunt almost being dropped there by Joffrey. He holds it back. The infield's playing in, ready for it, so Blake had to come running in there. If he does drop a bunt down, whether down the third baseline or first baseline, he might have a chance at beating this out. He drops that down the third baseline. Now moving over to cover first is Lobo. Well-executed defense there by the Clippers as Blake came in to charge. Lobo covers first in his absence, and Pesh puts it away himself there for a 1-4 in the scorecard. Good play there, sidearm throw by Pesh. He's got quick reaction time on the mound. He saw that bunt coming. It was well shown there by Joffrey. But he gets the job done moving Valenti over to third. Here's Tadeo, the shortstop, for his third appearance of the game. Actually, second appearance here in the fourth.
Made sure to give him credit for the sacrifice in the book.
Absolutely, a sacrifice well done there by Joffrey. Smiled, knew he was going to do it.
Did the job.
Tadeo skies this one out into center. That's a ball for Nalepka to play. Sac fly opportunity here. Valente waits and tags. The throw home. He gets just under the tag of Giordano. That was a dart out there thrown by Nalepka, but a well sacrificed fly there from Christian Tadeo, the shortstop. Gets it done. RBI sac fly in the stat sheet. A good throw out there by Jake Nalepka. Wow, no bounces into the glove of Giordano, but a good slide there to get down there by Johnny Valenti. That's why your speedster gets the job done on the base. He stole second, made his way to third on the ground out, and then ultimately on the sac fly gets his way home. Great defense all around from the Northeast Clippers thus far in this inning. The put away bunt from L.A. Pesh, and then nice grab out there from the left out in center. Here is the catcher, Nicholas Kaspari. He swings through strike two after the foul on the first pitch. So quickly an 0-2 count now on Kaspari. That run makes the lead just two now. 6-4 Clippers in the bottom of the fourth here, but two down for the Bombers. That one comes into the eyes of Kaspari. Guys in the middle of this lineup and the top are just getting things done right now for the Bombers. After the leadoff bunt single for Valenti, everybody else just moved him around the bases to score. That one just missed. Pesh wanted that one. It's a 2-2 count, I believe, on Kaspari. Let's see where that one missed. Yeah, just low and outside, I believe. Now Kaspari shoots this one high into center field. Nalepka backtracking at the warning track. He didn't have a lot of feet to work with. He was at the wall. But ultimately, that's an out in the scorecard. Kaspari, who hit that homer before, almost had another one deep in center. You know why he's the cleanup hitter. But it's a 6-4 game right now. The Bombers still trailing on the Clippers. Clippers heading into the top of the fifth, looking to add, because they might need to their score. We'll see when we come back. Leading it off here in the top of the fifth for the Northeast Clippers is the right fielder Tommy Nalepka. Still on the mound for the Harrison Bombers is Mateo Joffrey, the first baseman that they brought in last inning to take things over, who halted runners on first and second when he took over for Cooper Flornes. So it's been smooth for him thus far, working with the bottom of the Clippers lineup and then the top two. But here's the third in the order, Tommy Nalepka. The Bombers working around defensively, moving guys back and forth, giving them breathers where they can. Brady Mox back to third base after switching with Zarafa in right. Zarafa returns to his original position in right. Breyer takes a seat again as Guglielmo retains left field, and Flornes is still at first base after switching off from the mound with Joffrey. That was high at the eyes of Nalepka. It's a 6-4 game right now at the top of the 5th. Clippers still up 2 on the Bombers, but the Bombers slowly crawling back. Pitching has been well. That's at Brady Mock, who's had some spectacular plays in this game. Now back at third base, gets that across the diamond to Flornez. No problem there for Mock. So 1 down here, and here's the shortstop and cleanup hitter, Max Fabian. Look at that back, right into the pocket of Mock. That took a high bounce on him, but he played it very well. And the tall Flornez at first base, that was no problem bringing that one in. That was a hard shot down the first baseline out of the reach of Flornez, but foul nonetheless. Flornez playing first, DiCostanzo at second, Mock at third, and still at short, as he has been the entire game, Christian Tadeo. Kaspari still behind the plate after that long shot into center field. Had Nalepka on the warning track to end the inning.
You remember yesterday when we were doing the games and we were talking about the equipment they were wearing?
Yep.
And we noticed the Bolt gloves?
Yep.
I see it now on his helmet. I couldn't remember what the name of the company was. He has a sticker on his helmet. Bruce Bolt.
Honestly, that doesn't ring a bell.
Is the name of the company.
Doesn't honestly mean anything to me. I thought I was going to recognize the name.
Bruce Bolt.
Fabian swings through strike 3. A strikeout here for Mateo Joffrey. Gets the cleanup hitter to swing through the high heat. Let's watch that one back. Fabian is tall, so it wasn't too high, but it came in just around the elbow area, which is a little bit weird of an adjustment to make when you're swinging. Here's the catcher, John Giordano.
Max was retired for the 3rd time there. Second time.
Yeah, they're handling the
punch-out.
cleanup spot very well. That one comes in low at the catcher. I want to point out again, I just love seeing where they're at in the box. As we said before, fundamentally, these coaches are telling their guys to be as far back as you can be. Allows you more time to react to the velocity of these pitchers. And Giordano is outside of the batter's box with his feet on the back. I don't know what to call it on turf. Chalk? But I think that one just hit him somewhere.
For the 2nd time today, he's on with a hit by pitch.
Yeah, it allows you to see the ball for a longer time and give you more reaction time. Let's see where that caught Giordano. Yeah, it might have hit his knee on the way in as it curved. He tried to jump out of the way of it, but I guess it still got a piece of him. And this is the same thing that happened before. Giordano gets on base, and they replace him with Fabian because he's the catcher. Now, Fabian being the last out, he came around to score the last time they did this in Giordano's place. They're going to try and pick off Fabian because they know what's coming. Fabian will likely be moving on one of these pitches. Here's Brad Lobo, the second baseman. Sometimes it all just works out in your favor. Fabian the last out, but the speedster now being able to put in for Giordano.
I was going to say, despite Fabian being 0 for 3, he was on base for the 2nd time today.
Yeah, he scored in the last time they did this. Flornez trying to hold him on over there. They just tried to pick him off twice in a row. And the MLB, they wouldn't be able to do that again unless it was successful. Fabian takes off immediately. Kaspari with a dart down there. One hopper, that is. But Fabian slides in time. The Bomber staff thought they got him.
I also thought they got
Let's check out a replay on that one. It was a one-hop throw from Kaspari. He was up quickly. Looked like a little bit outside there. I'm not sure if they called it a strike. Let's see if he got that tag down on Fabian. It looks like he actually did. But that hand got down from Fabian. That might have been out on the knee. Good throw there by Kaspari and a great tag there at second from Tadeo.
So the Clippers got away with one there.
Yeah, Caldy might have gotten away with Fabian standing on second here.
Let's see if Lobo can capitalize on it.
Lobo looking to do something here. 2 down, I believe.
There is indeed.
Yeah, man on second. Keep having to check my book without the scoreboard out there. Nice scoop there by Mock at third and a beautiful throw across the diamond. Mock has no errors on his scorecard. He keeps putting them away at third base. Let's watch this one back. He had to charge at that one because shooting down the line there was Brad Lobo with a little bit of speed. Picks it up without needing the hand to close it out and then grabs it from his glove and throws it high at Flornez, who is tall and stretching over there.
I'm glad that call didn't come back to haunt them.
Yeah, that could have been bad if things came back around and Fabian came in to score. But heading into the bottom of the 5th, the Clippers are still up 2 here, 6-4, but a new pitcher on the mound. That's no longer L.A. Pesh. We'll see when we come back. Don't go anywhere. It's a 2-run game in the bottom of the 5th. It's the bottom of the 5th here at Lasorda Legacy Park. Zarafa leading it off for the Bombers, and that first pitch here from the new pitcher, that's not L.A. Pesh anymore. That's Jake Nalepka, the former center fielder, who's made a couple of nice plays out there in center. He's on the mound now for the Clippers. It's an early 2-0 count here on the right fielder Zarafa, who's had a little bit of third base action throughout this game. Got to work through the middle of the order here. That is Nalepka. 3-0 count, though, on Zarafa. On deck and waiting is Cooper Flornes, the pitcher, who's now the first baseman. Pesh, after giving up 3 runs in 1 inning and then 1 in the last inning, he's slowly allowing the Bombers to come back. He's been working very smoothly throughout this lineup nonetheless. This is just Zarafa's second appearance in this game, and it's the 5th inning. But then again, this is a long lineup for the Bombers with 12 guys. It's a 3-run count right now on Zarafa. That one came in high on Zarafa, and the first batter seen by Nalepka is a walk. So a speedster on first base. He's going to be held on by Blake there. Defensively, they're making my day a little bit easy. There was just another clean switch here, as you see often at this level. L.A. Pesh is in center field right now, as the center fielder Nalepka came on to take on the bump. Cooper Flornes, the pitcher, now first baseman, is up right now. The 6th hitter in this hole, halfway through the Bomber lineup. Coming up quickly jumping there was Giordano, looking to back pick at first.
Do you want to take a look at LA's line now that he's done?
You can take a peek if you'd like, yeah.
All right, let's go through it. As he swings through that one. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 4 runs, but 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, the strikeouts are something I love to look at. Just consistently fanning guys at this level is something you love to see. And he was bringing the heat. We joked about it earlier in our mid-game interview, what guys were looking to see, heat or off speed, and he was just having guys gassed late on a lot of their swings. We saw it a couple times on those swinging strikeouts. Guys just could not time him up. But coach decided to switch things up after the 4 runs were given up in total by Pesh. Let's watch this replay really quick. I'm not sure if they're seeing it hit him. It actually looked like it did hit Flornes in the hand, and that is the call they're going to make. I thought it was bad when I first saw it because you didn't really hear it that much. But yeah, that caught the hand area of Flornes. The Northeast Clippers coach is looking to talk it over with the ump, see if it's a fair call. Now they're having a full-on conversation, him with the 2 umps. Now it's 1st and 2nd here. Nobody out. Nalepka hasn't caught anyone yet. So Zarafa on second. Flornes on first now. Here is Jake Miller, who we had in the booth before. And the first pitch is a strike to Miller. This is the extra hitter who's had a little bit of second base action in this game. Both runners taking as long of a lead as they want. Nobody being held on right now. Miller playing straight up. Fabian teasing at short, but he's going back to his position. Strike 2, swinging through that one was Brad Miller. Jake Miller.
Brad Miller, Philly legend?
Miller, Philly legend. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where that name is.
I knew I heard it.
Just feels right. And Jake Miller swings through that one for strike 3. Fortunately, his second strikeout through 2 appearances on the plate. Both swinging, at least. We talked before with him about not looking at strike 3, and at least he's putting the swing toward it. That's the first out for Jake Nalepka on the mound, with the first 2 guys getting on base. Next up is the third baseman with a little bit of right field reps, but now back at third base. Here's Brady Mock. See, interestingly enough, Brady Mock's right foot is not nearly as deep in the box as a lot of these other guys have been. That one's high at the eyes of Brady Mock. He chooses to not be as far back, which saves maybe milliseconds of reaction time if you were to step back. But I'm just pointing it out.
I'm still looking through LA's line. You hear the 4 runs, but you got to look deeper. First inning, he went 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. Second inning, he gave up the 3 runs. Third inning, he went 1-2-3 with 3 strikeouts. Then the 4th inning, he just had the leadoff bunt that stole a base, moved over on a
all
bunt,
the way around on outs,
and then had the sac fly. But what I just noticed now is he had 4 different plays where the ball was hit to him and he threw it over to first. Like, he had 4 different pitcher to first plays, 3 of which were retired. The other one was the bunt that came around the score.
Yeah, he did a lot himself defensively. There's a Brady Mock walk to load the bases with 1 out here. They're going to need a mound visit to calm down Jake Nalepka and reset a little bit. He's likely going to stay on the mound because no runs have been allowed yet. But he's loaded the bases here with just 1 out. and up and coming is the extra hitter, Caden Oscherlechner. Yep, got it on the second try.
We'll count it.
Whole infield in for this mound visit with coach. Let's see how they reset Jake Nalepka. I wonder if both Nalepkas get some pitching reps. Out there in right field, Tommy Nalepka. We'll see. Maybe Tommy will get some action on the mound this weekend as well. But here is Caden Oscherlechner. I believe the one guy, as far as I've been able to tell, on the Bombers that hasn't touched the field defensively. Then again, I am not informed of the defensive alignments. I've been making the observations myself. So the bases are loaded here, nobody being held on. Oscherlechner chops this one up. It's going to be a tough play for Ovalis to make. He's going to come home with it. Stepping on the plate is Giordano. A good force at the plate, getting Zarafa before he could dive in there. That honestly might have been the only option Ovalis had there with how shallow that chopper came. Let's look at this one back, see where Oscherlechner was on the bases. Yeah, looking out of the base path there was Zarafa. But good left foot on the bag there by Giordano, and a nice play on the hop by Ovalis at third. He started out as the extra hitter. Guzman was the first third baseman in this game, but he's still taking a breather on the bench right now. That one comes in as a high strike to Guglielmo, the left fielder. Bases are still juiced. No run allowed here yet by Jake Nalepka, and 2 down. So any base in play here again. And they call a balk on Jake Nalepka. That is unfortunate. There was going to be a chance for no runs to be allowed here for Jake Nalepka, but a balk called, and all the runners will move one. So Guglielmo remains at the plate, but it's second and third with a run coming in. This game is 6-5. The Bombers are still crawling along. The runners, the infield I should say, the corners are moving in a little bit. No, they're going to reset them. I think they were watching a potential bunt from Guglielmo. That would be bold with 2 outs and runners on second and third. That one catches outside of the zone. Luca Guglielmo trying to strike some action here. 2 runners in scoring position. You don't want to leave stranded, but it's an 0-2 count on him right now. That one's a little outside. Can't have too many takes like that, but that one's a little bit further than you'd want to swing at. Jake Nalepka's got to get out of this one. Just sporting a 1-run lead right now, but 2 guys in scoring position. And he gets Guglielmo chasing at the high stuff. Nalepka can take his way to the dugout. Just 1 run comes in on the balk. He could have made it out of that one with the bases loaded, leaving all 3 stranded. But instead he leaves 2 stranded on 1 earned run there. The balk was unfortunate. Let's look at this one. The high cheese, as they say, at the shoulders of Guglielmo gets him swinging at that one. So just a 1-run game now, heading into the top of the 6th, where the Northeast Clippers look to defend this lead and add to it. We are about an hour and 15 minutes into this game right now. So in terms of game time, there's enough to get through as many innings as may be needed here. But we'll see what happens. Looks like they're keeping it steady on the mound, the Bombers, that is. Joffrey's still staying there. 1-run game, looking to add to it are the Clippers in the top of the 6th when we come back. It is the top of the 6th inning here at Lasorda Legacy Park. Jeremy Guzman, the third baseman, turned into the extra hitter here, leading it off for the Northeast Clippers, who are sporting a 1-run lead on the Bombers. He fires a shot at the second baseman. That's right now Jake Miller back in the game to replace DiCostanzo at second base. A nice grab there to put away the first out on 1 pitch for the pitcher still out there, Mateo Joffrey. Let's look at this one back. Hard hit off the bat of Jeremy Guzman, high in the arms of Miller out there at second. Quick reaction time gets it done. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Joffrey. Going to need to be moving efficiently like that to hold this lead at 1 run. Here's the first baseman, Kevin Blake, to follow up Guzman's 1 pitch at bat.
I want to take a second and just go through this Clippers scorecard. That despite being up 6-0 early, all 6 of their runs came here in the second inning. We're now in the top of the 6th. Since the second inning, they've had 1, 2, 3 base runners. Totally quiet in the scoring column. Hence why the Bombers have been able to come back.
Yeah, the Clippers have been very quiet offensively. I have to say, as Blake shoots that one out into left, closing in on it are the left and center fielders. And that one gets over the wall. Another one that didn't look that hot off the bat. But the first baseman, Kevin Blake, goes yard over the head of Guglielmo out there and adds to this lead that the Clippers, we were just talking about how stagnant the offense has been in the last few innings for the Clippers. The whole team waiting at the plate to celebrate with Kevin Blake. This game is 7-5 now. The Clippers needed that one badly as the Bombers have been crawling their way back. It's the top of the 6th right now, and it's a 2-run game now. Joffrey's still on the mound, it looks like. He's going to remain out there. L.A. Pesh, the starting pitcher, who had a beautiful outing on the mound, looking to add to this one. But look at that one getting over the wall, almost into the parking lot. Doesn't quite get to the cars. And now L.A. Pesh is pummeled in the head on one pitch. He's staring down Joffrey on the mound, but he's clapping on the way to first. The action is happening quick here.
Clippers fans, if you're watching this, Clippers players, if you're watching this afterwards, I would like to take credit for that home run. You're welcome.
I guess a reverse jinx. We were talking about how poor
Basically,
the Clippers have been
honestly.
recently on offense. And then Blake comes in and hammers the ball with 2 strikes nonetheless. You know what's funny? I was also counting the pitches that Joffrey had thrown in that inning because he had 1 pitch to get Guzman out, and then he had 2 straight strikes. It was an 0-2 count on Blake. I was tallying pitches to comment on how quickly he got through the inning if he were to go 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blake took a shot and roped that one over the left field wall. So Joffrey is still on the mound here after he's getting a little amped up here on the mound, it looks like. Here's Eli Ovales, the extra hitter, the bottom of this lineup, and then Joffrey's going to have to work through the top of the order after this, unless there's a double play ball in play right now. There is one down on the Guzman lineout. L.A. Pesh on first right now. We saw Pesh take off before, so he's not scared to do so, but he's being held on right now by Flornez. Kaspari is going to want to take a quick visit to check on the pitcher, Joffrey, on the mound. Ovales will take that opportunity to talk to his third base coach. The Norris Clippers lineup getting hype and getting a little bit inside the head of Mateo Joffrey on the mound. It's a 7-5 game right now. 1 out and a man on first. Flornez still holding on L.A. Pesh at first base. Here's the delivery to Ovales. Catches the paint on the outside of the corner. Joffrey keeping his composure out there, despite how much they're getting to him. He's going to check on Pesh at first base, who's diving in safely. Ovales steps back in. He's about as inside in the zone as you can get. Interesting watching all these placements of the feet. And that one hits him. As I commented on how inside he was playing on the box right there. Now the ump is coming out to deliver a ball to Joffrey. That one, honestly, let's look at this one back. To the average stance, that one might have just been a little bit inside. But for how close to the box Joffrey was set up, or not, excuse me, not Joffrey, Ovales was set up, Joffrey paints him inside. That was actually more inside than it looked from our angle. But now the top of the lineup, Joffrey's going to have to navigate through. The left fielder, Matthew DeShiel.
That's the 6th time in this game that a Clippers batter has been hit by the pitch.
Yeah, a lot of control being lost here by the Harrison Bombers on the mound. Joffrey still weaving through it. That one shot between Mock and Tadeo. Tadeo slides onto it, but he's going to have to eat it because unfortunately there's no play for him to make. That's an infield single. Mock and Tadeo closed on that as much as they could. Tadeo limping a little bit after that sliding grab. It was a nice play, but unfortunately there was nowhere to go with it because all the runners were moving on contact. 1 out here. The bases are juiced. Coach of the Harrison Bombers calls for the infield to come in a little bit. Want to keep everything in the infield, but double play balls in play. They want to watch for the bunt as well. Here's Jake Nalepka, the center fielder, who became the pitcher for the Clippers. Joffrey steps off to check on Ovales at second. No one's being held on right now because, as I said, the infield is all playing in. You see Miller moving to his left a little bit on footage right there. Now the delivery here from Joffrey, a little bit outside there. Infield pressing in, watching for this bunt from Nalepka. He's got the speed. A lot of these guys on base right now have the speed. It's the bottom of the lineup and then the top, DeShiel on base as well. L.A. Pesh on third after the hit by pitch. Eli Ovales, the extra hitter, who's turned third baseman, standing on second. And then on first base is Matthew DeShield, the leadoff hitter. Facing Jake Nalepka right now is Mateo Joffrey on the mound. That one's a little bit outside. Runners will return. These bases are juiced with just one out here. The Bombers need a double play here. Down 2 now after the 1 run given up in this inning. That one's outside. Gaspari grabs that one, reels it in. First base coach tells the Jake Nalepka that with the count, it's his pitch, so we'll see if he has the green light here. He takes a hack at it indeed, listens to coach, sends it behind us onto another field. Nalepka will find his way back into the box here. It's a full count. He was 3-1 swinging. These leads are getting very large, and Nalepka shoots this one high into foul territory along the left side. That one also lands on another field. So it's hard contact. He's just swinging a little late right now, trying to time up Joffrey. I wonder if Joffrey is just bringing the heat right now with frustrations building and the bases juiced. The full count delivery here from Joffrey. Shot up the middle. Going to be a play needing to be made by Valenti out in center field. Only 1 run comes in to score. That's L.A. Pesh because of how quickly Valenti jumped on that ball. That was a bullet over the head of Joffrey where the middle infielders could not close on that. Tadeo and Miller had to watch that one soar. Let's watch this one back. Hard exit velo off the bat of Nalepka. Full count swinging, and that's over the glove of Miller, as you can see in the footage right there. Joffrey just had to get low as that soared by. That'll bring in the other Nalepka, Tommy Nalepka, the right fielder who's been there all game. Chopped down the third baseline into the Bombers' dugout. Bases are still juiced. L.A. Pesh came in to score right there. It's an 8-5 game, if my memory serves me correctly. There's no score board ahead of us right now, but I believe it's a 3-run deficit now that the Bombers are facing defensively.
They've added 2 here so far in the 6th inning.
Yeah, they've added to it when they needed to at the top of the 6th right now. Tommy Nalepka looking to build more. That comes at his eyes. The infield is still in here for the Bombers. They're trying to prevent any bunt, and they want to keep everything with an opportunity to come home for it if they need to. Don't want to add any more runs to the Clippers scoreboard right here. That one catches the inside corner. Tommy Nalepka didn't like the call. There's still one out here. It's a 1-2 count on Nalepka. Ovales on third. DeShield on second. Nalepka number 1 on first. That one skied out to Valenti in center. He's got to make another play here. Definitely a sac fly opportunity. He makes the grab. Only 1 runner moving. Ovales comes home on the RBI sac fly by Tommy Nalepka. He thought he got more of that one. He looks a little frustrated, but his teammates love that in the dugout. That makes the lead 9-5. A bullet thrown by Valenti to get it into third. Make sure none of the others runners moved. DeShield didn't want to test the arm of Valenti out there and move off second base. So a 4-run deficit the Bombers are facing now. Joffrey has to face Max Fabian now, who he's retired multiple times in this game. In fact, 3 times.
2 on the strikeout.
Yeah, twice on the strikeout, 3 times ultimately. This is the 4th appearance for Fabian, the cleanup hitter looking to add damage to a team who's given up 9 runs, but Fabian hasn't added anything to it himself.
He's the 8th batter of the inning.
Yeah, they're looking to bat around. The Clippers lineup is 10 batters. First and second now, the third base unoccupied. Mock brings it in himself at third base off a bullet, and he can step on third, that unoccupied third base, the force out there. So a couple runs added to the Clippers' lead. This was a short lead, which has turned into 4. It's 9-5 heading into the bottom of the 6th. There's 1:26 on the game clock, so only 24 minutes remaining if my math serves me correctly. Looks like we can dabble into the 7th inning here as long as this inning isn't 25 minutes. But that would be great in terms of the Bombers' sake. We'll see what happens here. A 4-run lead to overcome for the Bombers in the bottom of the 6th when we come back. It's the bottom of the 6th here at Lasorda Legacy Park. The Bombers are now down 4 after the Clippers added a couple runs for insurance on Mateo Joffrey in that last inning. Leading off for the Bombers in this inning is Mikey DiCostanzo, the second baseman. He takes a quick 2 strikes here. Still on the mound is Jake Nalepka, the center fielder who came in to pitch in the last inning. The window for a comeback for the Bombers keeps opening and then reclosing. They cut it to 2. Now it's been brought up to 4. The Clippers tagged for Joffrey for a couple in that top of the 6th. But barring time, it looks like we're going to get to 7. So the Bombers should have another opportunity in the next inning as long as they can halt this lead from growing any more for the Clippers. DiCostanzo swings through strike 3, and there's another strikeout in the column for Jake Nalepka. Now he's going to face the 12th man in this order before the lineup rolls back to the top. Here's Alexander Grayar, the extra hitter who had some reps in left field in this game.
That's his 3rd strikeout already, and just 5 batters faced.
Yeah, Nalepka's rolling pretty smooth through the Bombers in the experience that he's gotten in this game. There's ball 1, too high on Grayar. Infield playing it pretty standard right now. Grayar takes strike 1. It's a 1-1 count. There's a lot of opportunity to bunt down the third base right now, but as we said, bunting is a difficult technique, especially at this level. Swinging through that one is Grayar for strike 2. It's a 1-2 count right now. Nalepka has a chance to move quickly through this order and start killing the desire at a comeback for the Bombers. That one missed maybe just outside. It's a 2-2 count here. That one looked like it could have painted, but perhaps a beautiful paint job and frame job by Giordano. That one is strike 3 called on the outside corner. Grayar tested it one more time and watched the last 2 pitches. The second one finds the zone. And 2 straight strikeouts here for Jake Nalepka. Let's see how that one was pretty and painted in the zone. Oh, yeah, that caught the plate absolutely. That wasn't even that far on the outside corner. Yeah. That one was just, perhaps he was looking at that a little low, that is Grayar. That one was at the knees, though. Here's Johnny Valente, the center fielder throughout this entire game, with his 3rd appearance of the game. He came around to score last time. Swinging through that one.
He's got an opportunity to match his teammate LA. Strike out the side.
Yeah, Nalepka looking very nice in this inning right now. It's a 4-run lead for the Clippers right now. Ooh, and that one hits Valente on the forearm. Well. He winces in pain, but he still jogs over to first. Talk about a jinx, though.
Yeah, my bad.
And as we saw before, Johnny Valente got his way on first base with a walk before. Or was it a single?
He singled,
yeah. He singled in that at bat.
That was the leadoff bunt, remember?
Yeah, he got on him with a bunt, and then they moved him around the bases on ground outs and sac flies. Unfortunately, they have no outs to work with right now because that was a 2-out hit by pitch. That'll bring around the first baseman who ended up on the mound in the last inning, Mateo Joffrey. We'll see how he can help his team crawl back here after a couple runs given up in the last inning. Valente leading off first base. As we said before, he stole last time he was on first base. And on the first pitch, he takes off. This one popped out behind us in foul territory. No one can make a play on that. Valente will return to first, where he's being held on very closely by Kevin Blake there. Looks like the Norris Clippers coach will tell Kevin Blake to back off. They're not worried about Valente on the bases right now. So he'll take off because his lead was as big as he wanted it to be. That one gets to the backstop past Giordano. Free stolen base there for Johnny Valente. Why not take it? Let's see how large his lead gets at second because they likely won't hold him on there. Nonetheless, Mateo Joffrey still eyeing up Jacob Nalepka on the mound right now. Tips that one back behind him. So a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs. It's a 2-2 count on Mateo Joffrey. Lobo's playing rather close to second base right now in case they want to test Valente at second. But he'll bounce back towards his position. Nalepka wants to face the batter right now. He finds the gap in between first and second. Coming up throwing, though, is the right fielder, Nalepka. That's the other Nalepka. Tommy Nalepka gets him at first. That should have been a single. But a 9-3 put out to end the inning. Valente would have possibly came in to score there.
He would have, yeah. He was already passed on. And
that will do it here, it looks like. Through 6 innings, Yeah, they got him by a step. Not often do you see the 9-3 putout, but Tommy Nalepka came up throwing, played that ball shallow, and a good stretch there at first base by Kevin Blake to put away Mateo Joffrey. So done through 6 innings is this game. 9-5 win by the Clippers over the Harrison Bombers. We thought this game was going to go through 7. Goes through 6. L.A. Pesh with a nice outing on the mound, and then followed up by Jake Nalepka coming from center field. They did a clean switch there, and there was great performances by both of them. It looked like the Bombers were going to crawl back throughout the last couple innings, but the offense wasn't as hot as you needed it to be, and Nalepka only needed to go through 4 batters in that inning. Valenti left stranded on second base there on what could have been a single, but an unfortunate ending nonetheless for the Bombers. The Clippers are going to talk it over in the infield. The Bombers are going to talk it out on the left side. What do you think of this outing for both teams right now? How stellar was that outing on the defensive side for the Clippers?
Yeah, I mean, immediately you have to go to the Clippers pitching. Between L.A. and, forgive me, who's the second pitcher?
Nalepka. One of them was Jake, yeah.
They combined for 10 strikeouts. Outside of the second inning, where they had the 3 runs, including the home run, there really wasn't that much damage on the base paths.
Yeah, I mean, the Bombers' offense, like we said, it looked like it was going to get hot as time went on. They were really just damaged by that. Was it the second inning where they had that play where 3 runs came in on a bloop between first and second? It was Joffrey and I believe Miller or DiCostanzo that were closing in on a bloop in the infield, and ultimately they couldn't grab it, and 3 guys came around to score on just throwing errors all around.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a big momentum shift.
Yeah, that turned things around and really grew this lead, and it just kept growing from there. They cut it down to 2 runs at one point, but it ended up being a 4-run game. So 9-5, the Clippers put away the Harrison Bombers. We wish both teams the best of luck throughout the rest of this weekend. But that does it all here in the Baseball Lifestyle 101 World Series game between the Northeast Clippers and the Harrison Bombers. I've been Frank Labella alongside Nick Labella. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you shortly for another game here on Steel Sports YouTube.